The volume of a box is defined to be its length times width times height. If you have a figure that isn't a box, we need to cut it into shapes that are boxes. So in this example, we have this staircase shape. We'll have to slice this so it has a bottom step and a top step. Each of these are boxes, so each of these we can apply this formula on. So for the bottom box, I see that the length is 28, the width is 6, and the height is 9. Length times width times height. So we'll multiply these together. 28 times 6. When multiplying, we only deal with two factors at a time. So 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 2 is 12, plus the 4 is 16. So 28 times 6 is 168. We still have one more multiplication in this problem, though. 168 times 9. So 9 times 8 is 72. 9 times 6 is 54. Plus 7 is 61. 9 times 1 is 9. Plus 6 is 15. So this says the volume of just the bottom step is 1,512 cubic inches. Now we need to repeat the same procedure for the top step. However, the top step is a little trickier because we're missing one of the dimensions. We know that since the width of the bottom step is 6 inches, the width of the top step must also be 6. So we have the width, but we don't have the length. We do know that this entire length is the same as the length of the bottom step, which is 28 inches. If the whole thing is 28 inches, and this section here is 11 inches, the remainder must make up the length of the top step. So let's work that out. The total length we know is 28 inches. 11 inches have already been used up on the top for the bottom step. So what's left over must be the length of the top step. What's left over tells us to subtract. 8 subtract 1 is 7. 2 subtract 1 is 1. That tells us that the length of the top step is 17 inches. Now that we have all the dimensions, the length, the width, and the height, we can plug them into the formula for volume. Volume is equal to length times the width times height. So the volume of the top step is its length, 17 inches, times its width, 6 inches, times its height, 8 inches. Now let's multiply these together. And as before, since we're multiplying three numbers, we can only take two of them at a time and multiply. So we'll write out 17 times 6. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 1 is 6. Plus 4 is 10. So that gives us this first factor. 17 times 6 is 102. We still need to take care of the multiplication by 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 8 times 1 is 8. So this tells us the volume of the top step is 816 cubic inches. Now that we know the volume of the bottom step and the volume of the top step, we add these together to get the total volume. So the total volume will be the volume of the bottom step, 1,512, plus the volume of the top step, 816. Now 2 plus 6 is 8. 1 plus 1 is 2. 5 plus 8 is 13. So we need to carry. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. So that says the total volume is 2,328 cubic inches.